What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Recording. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. And if you are, make sure you leave a like on this video. And if you haven't yet, if you're just a passive viewer, hopefully today will be the day I earn your subscription. There's a button down below wherever you're watching, Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, YouTube. I just greatly appreciate the opportunity to earn your subscription. Now, after Elon Musk took over Twitter. Oh, I've Freudian slip there, just wishing. After Elon Musk took over Twitter, there was a whole lot of hullabaloo about how Elon Musk buying Twitter drove over 1 million people to Mastodon, which is a alternative tech option to Twitter. It's built on the blockchain or the Fediverse, and it's an alt tech platform that I still support. Now, it is exceedingly leftist, but that's who populates it. It's not necessarily the fault of the platform. You could say the same thing about Gab, for example. Definitely overwhelmingly right-wing, but it's not that they only want right-wingers. It's just that's who's there. You could say the same thing about Truth, which is a little different because it's more like Trump's thing. But I don't have any inherent problems with Mastodon. It is where all the big-brained journalists went and a lot of these lefties that abandoned Twitter. But guess what? It's been a month and they're all coming back. Elon Musk drove more than 1 million people to Mastodon, but many aren't sticking around. More than 130,000 people were joining the new independent social media network a day in November. So why hasn't it taken off? For the same reason no other video platform has taken off. Look, Odyssey, BitChute, Rumble. I continue to support these platforms, many of them financially every month. But they're still not YouTube. The closest possible, Rumble has a chance if they can diversify their content. Right now, Rumble is exclusively, for the most part, right-wing content. It has some gaming content and some of that, but it's mostly right-wing content, at least the biggest creators are. And if they can diversify, if they can get out from underneath that, that's a right-wing platform, Rumble has probably the best chance in the last 10 years of actually taking a bite out of YouTube. Not defeating YouTube. Nothing can defeat YouTube. But all of these little alternative platforms take a little bite. Just a little bite. And that's the way you really reduce their power. The number of active users on Mastodon social network has dropped more than 30% since its peak, and it's continuing a slow decline. According to the latest data posted to the website, there were about 1.8 million active users in the first week in January. That's down from 2.5 million in early December. So they lost about half of their new users. Mastodon, an open source network, largely independent hosted servers, has often been touted as an alternative to Twitter. And its growth appears connected to controversies at Twitter, of course, but for many, it does not fulfill the role that Twitter did. And the experts say it may be too complicated to really replace it. And that's exactly what I said. Mastodon is not for boomers. It's a bit of a complex setup in understanding what the Fediverse is, and there's all this kind of stuff that gets involved in it, and all that's going to hamper growth. In the same way that, for example, Gab not being on the Google Play Store or the Apple iTunes Store hampers its growth. Gab could be 10 times its size already if they were allowed on these platforms. And I don't agree with their continued censorship and omission or banning from these various platforms, but it is what it is when you have a monopoly. Bring on the SpaceX phone. Twitter is in its most basic form. Is simple, Meg Coffey, a social media strategist, said. You can open up the app, open up a website, type some words, and you're done. I mean, it's a basic SMS platform. There were about 500,000 Mastodon users before Elon Musk took control of Twitter at the end of October. By mid-November, that number had climbed to almost 2 million active users. Now, for a platform that had 500,000, for example, to jump up to even at its number right now of 1.6, 1.7 million users, that's astronomical growth. I mean, that's hockey stick growth. That's changed the game growth. But of course, what everyone, including, like even conservatives or people like myself who are kind of in the middle, there's really no replacing that arguing with the other guy. All these leftists or journalists like Taylor Lorenz ran to Mastodon and got 200,000 followers there, and they thought, wow, this is really the bee's knees. All right, these are my people. And then they quickly realized what conservatives realized with Parler and Getter and Gab is that it's not that fun being in an echo chamber. It just isn't. And regardless, by the way, of whatever technology hurdles there are, for Gab, for example, having to download the APK or use the web version. True Social is available on, I think, on iTunes. I'm not sure if it's on Android Store. I think it is or was. Still a huge barrier. People want to feel like they're heard, and part of that is arguing with people. Quote, right around November 5th, it was a real opportunity, Coffee said. There were a lot of people who were scared, a lot of people who didn't want to be in the place Twitter was becoming. By the way, it wasn't actually becoming any of these things. It was just marketing. All the left-wing media kind of circled the wagons and said, oh, and Twitter is full of hate speech, and Twitter is full of all these terrible things. And then it turned out that people logged on Twitter and really nothing changed. I mean, can you honestly say that your experience on Twitter has really changed in any meaningful way? I can't. It felt like at times there was a little more interaction on Twitter than I was used to. But even like right now, it feels like interactions at like an all-time low for me. It feels like, innumerable swings and ebbs and flows have happened where, especially where conservatives are saying, oh my God, interaction's like the best it's ever been. And then people are saying, oh, wait, what's going on? I must be shadow banned again. I mean, I see like popular accounts like Libs of TikTok and, the GAG account and all these other ones constantly every other week saying, wait, am I being shadow banned? What's going on? Quote, I'm a big mutant block. So my Twitter is fantastic. It's a really wonderful place, but I know for a lot of other people, it's not. And so I can understand that they wanted to find a place that was, quote, less toxic and, quote, less harmful. The surge in new Mastodon users continued throughout November, peaking at over 130,000 new users per day. The upticks often coincided with controversial decisions made by Elon Musk. This is very similar to conservative growth. When Twitter would ban a popular figure, they would go to Parler, they would bring over 200,000 people, and they would think this is just as good as Twitter. And then what happens? 2 weeks later, you realize that everyone just stayed on Twitter, and occasionally they come back on Parler. Twitter will have to do a lot to really alienate people. This was true of the right forever, and now it's true of the left. Clubhouse had this amazing opportunity, she said. They had this captive audience, but they didn't deal with onboarding of users in the right way. And they gave other platforms an opportunity to jump on them, which is, I think, why we got Twitter Spaces, right? For many, Mastodon may have proved too hard to port over their communities and was just too complicated. Some may have gone back to Twitter, while others, said Coffee, may have dropped social media entirely. They didn't drop social media entirely. Everyone went and signed up for Mastodon and realized how hard it was, and then got back on Twitter and like, oh yeah, that's hard. Maybe we won't go there, she said. And it was like the people that said, I'm moving to Canada when Donald Trump was elected. They never actually moved. Yeah, they may have looked at, maybe a website or maybe some real estate in Canada or something along those lines, but they were never actually interested in moving. And now with nearly 50% drop off in their growth, of course everyone returned to Twitter. There's been some hardcore people that are still staying, still there, but it's just not enough. You see this article in Thurrott. Mastodon users have started fleeing the platform. By the way, the platform was full of letter C, letter P content. Full of it. Wonder if people are noticing that. The Fediverse is not exactly your all-time censorship platform. And a lot of people who left Twitter decided, oh, I need a safe space. But they found out on Mastodon was not. It's like join Post once. Mastodon had a little less than 500,000 users before Twitter, so if you're interested in data, Mastodon makes a total number of users have logged in over the previous 30 days publicly accessible. And it's quite interesting to look at. A month ago, on December 9th, Mastodon still had 2.3 million active users and a total of 5.4 million accounts. That's pretty good. 50% of you, like on YouTube, I would say 20% at most of people that actually subscribe to my channel are active viewers. As of today, Mastodon has 1.7 million active users on a total of 5.9 million people who create an account. That's a 23% decrease in active users in just 1 month. In comparison, Twitter had 253 million, 100 times the amount of daily active users on November 20th since Musk became CEO. And certainly that number is increasing. People have all but forgot about the controversy and the claims that they made when Elon Musk took over. And the fact of the matter is they all came crawling back. Hey, I hope you enjoyed all my videos today. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed a wide variety of topics. If you did, please do subscribe and consider checking out the reviews over on coffeebrandcoffee.com. Let's check out the reviews. And if there's something you like there, one of our delicious coffees, teas, or cocos, you can use promo code TheQuartering to support the channel and get a high quality product. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.